Hey everybody, this is Greydon Buhlig with the Southwestern. I'm here today with head volleyball coach, Coach Collins, and freshman Lacy Mott. How are you all today?
Doing good.
Good.
So
Thanks for
last
having
night you had a huge win, your first win of the season, swept East Central. And Lacy, we'll start with you. You've had an amazing season so far. 52 kills in 3 games is pretty impressive. I'm not a big volleyball follower, but I mean that just sounds good to me. So how have you kind of fit into this team so far?
I think just coming in, it was kind of learning my part and kind of holding up that side of the court and making sure that with each ball I touched, I bettered it, whether it was a kill or just kept it in play.
And Coach Collins, just kind of add to that. How has Lacy really contributed to this team?
She's a rock right now. I mean, and that's what her coaches told me when she was coming out of high school. And it was clear, just watching her stats in her senior year that they were extremely comfortable feeding her the ball no matter where she was. And I thought there would be a little bit more of a transition for her at this level, but she's just come in and she's got so many tools in her toolbox. She can hit the ball hard. She can hit the ball soft. She can tip or roll. She sees the court. She's got great IQ, and she can play some defense too. So I think that she's just getting started, and I think the sky's the limit.
Yeah, sounds like you got a long 4 years ahead of you, Lacy. So looking at the schedule, you played Oklahoma Christian to start the year off and then played Southern Nazarene to start GAC play.
That's correct.
Those two matches, you lost in 5 sets, 2-3. So they went down to the wire each time, losing the last set 12-15. Coach Collins, just how well has your team competed? Because look at the stats; they don't lie. They've competed every single game. It just hasn't really been able to come together like it did against East Central last night. So just kind of talk about the way the team has played and how they've progressed in the first 3 games.
There's several times where I look out and of the 6 players on the court, we have 4 freshmen. So, I think that there's going to be some, learning curves and even learning curves for our upperclassmen. They're playing in new positions, and Sophie De Santiago is playing libero for the first time at SWOSU. She played libero in high school, but with that, comes a lot of new and just getting used to playing next to the girl next to you, and like you said, we were extremely competitive in those first 2 matches. We didn't do some things very well, but we did other things pretty well. So we tried to take a look at the things we weren't doing well and fix those, obviously, but also take a look at the things that we're doing well and build on those. We only have 10 players, which is, that's a small roster for volleyball. In practice, we have 11, so I get to throw Coach Kate Dillon in there and have her play with us. And then we have a guy who's coming in and helping us, Samuel Kim, who does a really good job, and he's helped us out a ton in practices. But when you have that few number of players on your roster, practice is really tough to simulate a 5-set match because you can't go for 2.5 hours every day in practice and expect bodies to last over this 12-game season. So but we made some adjustments in practice last week. I think they really helped us. And the bottom line is last night, we had a chance to give away the 2nd set and the 3rd set, and we just didn't. We decided we weren't going to, and we did make mistakes, in the end, and they did make some mistakes, and we forced them into those mistakes. So Lacy just shot the lights out in there.
All good. So last night – oh, go ahead, Coach. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I have some growth in that area. We finished where, we won sets 2 and 3 against Oklahoma Christian and Southern Nazarene, but we came out in the first set in both of those just kind of tight and nervous and, playing with unneeded pressure. And if we wouldn't have done that, I think we would have won those first sets and maybe cruised to 3-set victories. So hopefully we're learning.
So I'll ask you kind of the same question, Lacy, but I want your perspective as the athlete. It is different with less players on the team. You're right. You can't go as long during practice. And those practices seem sometimes to drag on when you're always on the court, you're always doing something. But how have you, not only personally as a player, grown through the first 3 games, but how do you see you as a team growing throughout these first 3 games and then finally getting a win last night against East Central?
I think, like Coach said, it's a learning process. You have to learn the girl you're playing next to, and learn her tendencies and what she's going to take and what she trusts you to take. So it becomes trusting the person next to you, and that's something we're going to slowly build on. Like in practice, you get used to them, and we focus on the things that we struggled with. And I think with each game, we're going to find new things that we can build on. And by the end of the season, we'll be pretty solid, because each game, it reveals something else. Each team's going to pull out something that like we weren't prepared for, that we were not used to. And it's just a learning curve. And with the 4 freshmen, they don't know us, and the other girls on the team, they've played with each other, but they haven't played with us before. So they've got to learn us, and we've got to learn them and follow their leadership roles, and then kind of come in with a new look on the team.
Coach Collins, we talked last night after the win a little bit about Oklahoma Baptist. I'm assuming you haven't practiced today, correct?
We are taking today off. So.
Okay. So taking today off, taking the day to kind of look at Oklahoma Baptist coming up. You mentioned last night how you all seem to play really well against them, and they seem to play really well against you all. So how do you combat that, combining last night's win with the first 2 losses and taking everything into consideration? How do you find different ways to attack Oklahoma Baptist and pull out a win and get back to 500 on the season?
I think that this week will be easy. They're going to be very motivated to play Oklahoma Baptist. We got beat by them twice last year in 2 very close games. Both were 4-set matches, and we had chances to win both of those matches. In fact, I think that in set 4 here against them, we were up like 22-19, and they just kind of went on a run. So it's these games that are easy to get excited for, easy to practice for. Last night against East Central hasn't been real good in the past. But they got a new coaching staff, and just trying to relay that to our players, like, just because East Central hasn't won a lot of games in the last few years, they're changed. They're extremely athletic. They do some things extremely well, and they're playing hard for this coach. So it's kind of hard to get your kids really motivated. And then there's an added pressure, because it's like, SWOSU is supposed to beat East Central, and sometimes you come in more tight for that game than you will come in for OBU, where it's like, hey, they're pick number 1, they're, reigning champs. Who doesn't want to get up for that game? There's no pressure. Let's just go out and play. And I think that's what we'll do. And I think that they play really high-quality volleyball. It's fun to watch. It's smooth. There's not a lot of, silly, mindless errors. It's just good, clean volleyball. And when you play against that, you tend to play good, clean volleyball as well. So they have a really good team. But, as we've seen, we have a really good team as well. So we're really excited for this test. And, we'd love to get back to 500.
And so, Lacy, as you take today off, which is always a fun day as an athlete, get to just relax and chill for a little bit, but you're not going to stop thinking about the next game. You're not going to stop thinking about what is coming in the future. So taking today off, but getting back to work tomorrow, how do you feel coming into this game? Number one, you should feel pretty good coming off a win. But how do you feel coming in this game? You're obviously pretty confident. And then what do you want to see from your team moving forward? I know you're just a freshman, but you're starting, you have 52 kills, you're obviously producing. So what do you want to see from your team moving forward? Not saying you're the number 1 player on the team, but you being the leader that you are as a freshman is huge, first of all. And second of all, how do you see your team moving forward?
I think this week everybody's going to be excited. I mean, we're in conference. Everybody was excited to start conference, but just from being here in the fall and just hearing them talk about OBU, it's different. I mean, they want to beat them, and so it makes all of us want to win that game even more. So I think practices this week will be, you know, the energy is going to be up. People are going to be excited to work on certain things. And like sometimes, you know, it kind of drags on. But I think with knowing that it's OBU this week, everybody wants to get better and wants the win against OBU. So, I mean, this week I hope everybody comes in with that attitude. And, you know, like he said, they lost both times last year. And so we want to win both times this year. And I think everybody's going to have that attitude. But going to the game, I'm hoping that we're not going in with, you know, the pressure of we need to win, more of let's go in and be competitive and have fun with it, because competitive games are fun. I mean, that's why we all love the sport. It's those games that go to 5 sets rather than those that are a sweep. You know, the 5 sets are always more fun.
Right, and as an athlete, like you just said, that's what you came here to do. You came here to compete. You didn't come here to just blow everybody out. You came here to play good volleyball, play hard volleyball, and to win some matches. So, Coach Collins and Lacy, thank you for taking time out of y'all's busy day. I know today's an off day, but things always happen because life, right? I appreciate your time, and good luck next week. We'll see you then.
Thank you, Greydon. Really appreciate you.
And good luck, and congrats on the win last night. We'll see you next time.
Go Dogs.